Beyond the basic health insurance, modern workplaces are recognizing the critical need for comprehensive employee protection. As tragic cases of corporate employees facing life-altering health challenges increase, how can companies try to safeguard their most valuable asset, their employee, their people? Welcome to the Policybazaar for Business show partnered by ET Now. I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and today we are going to explore the evolving landscape of employee benefit, diving deep with a group personal accident and a group term life and comprehensive coverage strategies. Joining me on this conversation, we have Shruti Walia, Head HR CureFit, Jeelani, Basha, President and CDO Tata AIA Life Insurance, Sajja Praveen Chowdary, Director and Head Policybazaar for Business. All right, welcome to the show, Sajja, Jeelani and Shruti, and let's decode everything about group personal accident and group term cover or term life cover. Let me begin with you because we really need to understand what are the distinguishing factors when we talk about group health insurance and talking about group personal accident and group term life, something new that corporates can opt for and, have an enhanced cover as far as the employees are concerned for benefits. What are we actually talking about and how different is it from the entire group health insurance cover?
See, basically, I think in the last episode as well, we spoke about, group health cover being there, which is primarily what, employers and employees speak about when it comes to employee wellness or coverages that they get from employers, right? The group health cover, as the name says, would cover you for any kind of hospitalization. If you get hospitalized or, in case of, any kind of treatment to be taken at a hospital, then it reimburses you the cost or you get it in a cashless manner of whatever expenses that you incur at a hospital. And then there are two other covers which generally not each and every corporate takes, but then, which are also important covers like a group personal accident, which is, let's assume in case of an accidental death or a disability happening, a disablement, which means you're not going to be able to work for the next 3 months. You might have 1 month of leave, but who's going to pay for the next 2 months? Or in case of a death occurring, who's going to pay for that? The other side is a group term life cover, which is again similar to which covers you in case of death generally, that in case of an employee death, the family would get, say, probably a 25 lakh or a 50 lakh, or generally it is in multiples of the annual income that the employer would be paying, so that the family is taken care of. So it's an extended definition of employee wellness to an extent, if you would say. It's not only about employee health insurance that in case of hospitalization or regular wellness, but in case of death or disability also you being able to take care of employee or their family, and hence employee being able or having a certain kind of a peace of mind, right? That when I'm working with a particular organization, I have these benefits and it kind of extends to their family as well. That's what we're speaking about. Now, when you look at corporates who take, there are a lot of corporates who kind of end up only with a group mediclaim.
A lot of them usually, right?
Usually end up with only group mediclaim. And then there are a set of corporates which say, I would want to take the wellness to the next segment where they kind of do regular wellness.
What's the percentage of these corporates as compared to the ones with only group health?
See, if you look at in overall numbers, right, probably Jeelani would be right to kind of put some numbers there because he's from the life insurance side. But having said that, I think my sense about 10 to 15% of people would have a group term life policy. Whereas if you were to say a universe of 100 having group mediclaim, probably 10-15% would have group term life. Rest 85% would not generally care about group term life.
And personal accident doesn't?
Personal accident generally, yes, with group mediclaim they do take. So that would be anywhere between about, say, 60% group personal accident. But group term life is one thing which is kind of lacking in that segment of employee wellness where not every organization takes it. Some see it as a cost, but then it's one important component in that entire equation with the employee.
You are into HR, Shruti. Now, when you design these kind of coverage for when it comes to wellness and health benefits, what do you ensure? And talking about personal accident and group term life, do you also have it in your organization? If yes, how do you help employees understand the importance of it? Because I'm sure it's not necessary for them to take it, but then they can always opt out of it. So, and that's not the idea. The idea is to get them covered with as many covers, insurance covers as possible.
Absolutely. We do have it for all our employees. Sure. So when we talk about employee benefits in any organization, the first thing that comes to our mind is employee insurance. And it's not only today, it's from a couple of decades. It's that important. So as an organization, certainly we want to give the best of benefits to our employees. We want to ensure that whatever is trending in the market, we have all the coverages and we are at par as per industry norms. However, there are some parameters that helps us decide what are the combination of benefits we want to offer to our employees. Is it just the GHI or GPA or GTL also? Because decision making is not about having numbers on papers, it's about employees, and it's essential for an organization to know who your employees are.
True.
So there are some demographic factors that help an organization take those calls. For example, the average age of the employees or the different age categories of employees and the role types. So I would like to give some examples.
Sure.
For the younger age groups, they will be benefited by the accidental coverage. Or those who are spending more time on field, those who travel frequently, they will again benefit by accidental coverage. Whereas employees with 35, 40 plus years age group, they will benefit by health and life insurance coverage.
Okay.
So these are the parameters that you
Sure.
can keep in mind while deciding it.
Sure.
Now, another essential part is the trade-off. How do we ensure that it's paying off, whatever additional investment we are doing? And it's more about the affordability versus impact. While it's essential for an organization to see how much are we gonna protect our employees or their families or reduce their stress with this additional cost that we are thinking of investing in insurance. But I feel the ROI is intangible. You cannot, there are no defined metrics to measure the impact or ROI of those investments. Eventually, it's about the holistic experience that our employees and their families are going to have. Now, if I have to talk about experience, it starts from the moment any employee or their family members fall sick. Rather than going to the hospital, you should have a coverage where you can just pick up the phone and speak to the doctor. So it's all about balancing the overall, the scenario of it. It's a balancing act. You cannot put a price on peace of mind, but a smart customization will not only help you manage cost, but also help you offer the meaningful benefits to the employees. So, like I said, it's all about how you balance out the additional cost, how smartly you make the relevant customization, and how do you ensure that our employees are having seamless experience.
Exactly.
So
Awareness is a very important role over
Absolutely,
here.
yeah. So these are the factors that we decide, that we keep in mind while deciding if it is just the GHI that we are offering to our employees, GPA, or the GTL also is going to be factored.
When these corporates come to you, how exactly do you help them understand the basic importance of group personal accident and group term life? Because you have first hand experience with them, assuming someone comes with the notion of having them covered with a group health policy, and then you'll be like, oh, no, there is something more that you can offer. So what's the first reaction? How do you help them understand it?
Yeah, before I jump into answering your question, I'd like to spend a minute on explaining what GTL is.
Sure.
Because GTL as a product is not so known to the market to the desired levels.
Sure.
A GTL is a holistic benefit plan which covers all types of death, including suicide. In retail term plans, suicide is not covered for the first 1 year.
Yeah, right.
But in GTL, even suicide is covered from day one.
Okay.
And it's better than GPA because GPA is group personal accident only. And it has few exclusions. In GTL, any death is a death. So what does GTL do is it ensures that the employee's family's financial needs are taken care, the untimely death of the employee. See, today, all the employers, most of the organizations are aligned to provide a medical coverage, a GMC, so that the interest of the organization is when they are employed, if they have to have any medical expense, that is taken care.
Yes.
But we genuinely feel as an organization today where the organization demands a loyalty from the employee, loyalty from what he gives to the organization, he needs to have the peace of mind. So GTL helps to ensure that the family is taken care when he is not around. And we genuinely feel it has to go on. Just to give you some data point which you're asking for, Sajja. Last year, as per IRDA report, total India industry, 12,000 GTL policies were issued, mopping around 7,500 crores of premium.
Oh.
It looks like a good start. But if you look at the total number of companies as per company register, in India, we have 15 lakh companies.
Okay.
Out of 15 lakh companies, 12,000 have taken. So look at the opportunity. It's humongous.
Yeah, true.
Yes, of course, there are quite a few large corporates, MNCs, we do self-managed protection as well. In-house, they manage it. But that comes at a cost.
Definitely.
So we feel there's a huge opportunity for the organization to bring this benefit to the employee.
Right.
Because they're not only caring the employee, they're caring their extended family.
Yeah.
Their family is taken care when they are not there. And it's a huge peace of mind for the employee. So he can go ahead and give his full loyalty to the organization without caring if he's not there tomorrow.
Yeah.
His family is taken care.
Exactly.
His family's financial needs are at least taken care. Of course, his absence is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
But the financial needs of the family is taken care by the organization through this GTL. And the interesting fact is, like what Shruti said, most of the companies are looking at employees, they're doing well. And the data which we read in the market is most of the large corporates, MNCs are already there. They're doing some form of GTL to their employees along with the GMC and GPA. But there's a huge gap in India in the SME and MSME sector.
Oh.
They
So
just
have basic coverage.
they don't have anything at all.
Exactly. That's the biggest question.
They don't have anything at all, and the kind of reason for that is cost plays a big role,
Okay.
and also for the insurer to churn out a product because they come at a cost. So IRDA stipulates that for a group term life policy to be given, I need to have a minimum group of 10 people.
Right.
So an MSME or SME can be addressed, but the premium to give that comes at a high cost, because even if one death happens, the premium shoots off.
Got it.
So there's a catch and mouse story, but I'm sure that with the knowledge coming up, people understanding the importance, so that's how the employer should look at what the employer is giving to them.
Do you want to explain the MSME and SME point? Because if cost is a big factor, how do we convince them to get this very important aspect of employee wellness and benefit?
See, I think that's I think slowly evolving is what I can say. See, because cost, as Jeelani said, cost is definitely one of the factors for SMEs and MSMEs, because they really think about whatever that extra penny or money that they would get, would they want to invest that back into the business, or do they spend on anything else, right? But I think with times evolving and with employees evolving and a lot of people looking at how do you put it, earlier the number of opportunities versus today, if you look at the number of opportunities that are there in market, and hence people wanting to work in a formal sector versus the informal sector to an extent, and MSMEs primarily exist in the informal sectors as well, right? There's clearly a definition where people have started to see, is my employer giving me these benefits over and above or not, right? And that's where I think some of the MSMEs are also realizing that, this is one thing that we would want. And having said that, from an economy perspective, we feel that it's also important that SMEs and MSMEs, because generally the people at the lower end of spectrum are the ones. There are a lot of people. I would not say those are the only ones who are working in SMEs and MSMEs, but when you look at a formal sector versus the MSME or the large corporates versus or the SMEs or MSMEs, right? The people who are there at the lower end of income spectrum are the ones who are working there, and those are the ones who don't have these retail policies also covering them.
Absolutely.
So they're the ones who need these policies of, say a group term life or group personal accident, which can actually take care of their family when something of this sort happens the most, I would say. Otherwise, what would happen is most of these people would kind of come closer to the, say, whatever you call it, benefit schemes, which the government comes in, and then the family starts to depend on government schemes, and automatically, which means the money has to flow out of the government schemes itself, right? Which the government pays for and we pay for in the form of taxes. So that's slowly evolving. While it's a need, I would say it's slowly evolving. And I think somewhere platforms which are there as Policybazaar business, others which are there in the online segment as well, we're catering to these SMEs and MSMEs, or kind of making it slightly easier to kind of opt for these plans or get it easier. That's one thing that we're doing. But I think over a period of time, I think more and more education, like the ones that we're doing, probably like this one or the other ones, and those would help them also realize that, this is one important thing that they should focus on for sure.
Talking about packaging it well for your clients, how do you help that?
See, today, when, as Shruti said, right, it depends on the employer and the type of employees that they have. Who are these employees at the end of the day? Are they on the ones who go on the field, or are they they're the ones who are in office, or what is their age group primarily, right? And then there's a location specific thing also that comes in picture. What kind of locations are these people from? Are they primarily from tier 1 or tier 2, tier 3 across? And what kind of job are they involved in, kind of, right? Basis that risk is one we try to identify, and we try to kind of benchmark, saying, within this segment or within this kind of category of organizations that we have or we see in the market, this is the kind of coverage that they provide. What is your competition providing? When I say competition, probably a unmasked or a masked 10 organizations kind of providing versus what you're providing. And the other part is looking at profile of the organization in terms of work profile of people or age profile of people, saying what is the kind of coverage that you should have, whether it's a GPA cover that you should have or a GTL cover that you should have, or what is the amount that you should have, kind of.
Yeah.
That is what we kind of, that's the kind of thing which we kind of try to, apart from benchmarking, we kind of try to provide to organizations, which kind of make decision making slightly easier, I would say. Apart from this, the regular wellness and other value-added services do exist. So for group term life, one of the things that we also do today for our organizations which take group term life to us is we make, like the way we said, right, in the earlier episode when we discussed about group health insurance and making wellness or employee wellness a core part of that entire experience. In group term life also, we've been able to figure out a way to kind of bring that, within. Like, for example, it can be a very small one, but today, let's assume if an employee loses his life, and then the family members who are there. As a large employer, one of the large employers in the country today, we have about roughly at a group level, probably 18,000 employees, if I'm not wrong. We're able to kind of find job opportunities to their family members.
Oh, interesting.
This is for our clients. Let's say you're a client and one of your employee passes away, then either your spouse or if your kid is above 18 years of age, we're able to kind of find job opportunities for them in the organization. Or if they're not able to come up to that skill level, then we have training team which is able to upskill them. So this is kind of taking employee wellness to next level, kind of saying actually you mean what you mean and not only just like about money also, right? So that's how we're making it, slightly more better in terms of as a package from an organization perspective or as a broker. That's what we are doing.
It's essential to communicate the importance of these benefits. Apart from GHI, what is GPA and GTL is all about. Often I have seen that majority of employees know only about basic benefits that they're covered for under GHI. While these coverages, GPA and GTL, may come across as silent players, but when it is actually required by any employee and family members, it plays a crucial role. So as an organization, it is important that we proactively, effectively communicate the importance of it, and there are certain things we can do. We are doing and the organizations can do. The first one is the educational campaigns. We can do online and offline webinars followed by...
You do that?
Yes, we do that. Okay. We do online and offline 100% coverage webinars we do with detailed Q&A sessions. Last but not the least, simplify language.
That is very important. When insurance comes, yes, you really need to simplify not only this, but even the policy documents. I personally think
exactly. We don't have to use any fancy jargons. Use the straightforward and simple, easy to relate language that our employees can understand. People come from different backgrounds. In few workforce...
Trust also matters. Employees come up to you and ask them, from where have you taken this insurance? I don't like this insurer. Does that happen with you?
At times it happens. They have their own point of view. Exactly, they have their own expectations. And we have also come across scenarios where people come from different backgrounds and they understand regional languages. Do not hesitate in using regional languages to explain it to them, because end of the day, it's all about experience. It has to be hassle-free. So yeah, we can keep these things in mind to have an effective communication with employees.
Sure. How would you like to, ask the corporates to go deeper? I mean, she definitely gives fantabulous ideas, but then because you have the first-hand experience, you know what they think about it, right? What more can be done, and how can it be simplified?
Okay. See, when it comes to GTL, people should understand about the human life value. Life insurance is all about human life value. So the thumb rule which we go by is, depending on the age, if somebody is below 40, they should be covered to anywhere between 25 to 30 times of their annual income. Right. If it is above 40, 15 to 20 times of the annual. But today, people who take GTL, even if they take GTL, they do it for the formality. I also have a GTL for my employees. So the industry has been operating at 1 time of CTC or 2 times of CTC. But we at Tata AA strongly recommend you should look at having at least 6 times the CTC. Why we say this? Let's take an example of an employee who's earning 1 lakh per month, 12 lakhs a year. If he takes a 6 times CTC, the life cover is 72 lakhs. And unfortunate eventuality happens, death happens, this 72 lakhs will ensure that the family is taken care for next 4 to 5 years, at least financially. You need that time because mostly in India, off late as there are dings, double income, no kids, but we still have a large population who are single breadwinners. And when they're not there, the entire family goes out of
so many financial responsibilities on them.
So this at least the 6 times CTC will really help them to take care of their immediate financial needs for next 4 to 5 years. So we really push the organization to think more on behalf
fundamentals,
of
right?
Yes. So that the cover is meaningful. Because if you look at the IRDA data on the retail side, the last data we saw, the average claim paid out at the industry level is 3 lakhs. What does 3 lakh help? Even if I look at my own GTL policies, we cover about 15 lakh.
For more than 1 lakh now.
We cover about 15 lakh lives. And last year we have given away 1,600 claims settled, close to 250 crores of rupees. But even then the average is about 13-14 lakhs. That's because the multiple is very less. So we humbly request the organization that they should look at increasing the multiple. And apart from that, we have been promoting this, like Shruti did touch about the voluntary top-up. This is one of the innovations which we are bringing to the industry, because voluntary top-up is known in GMC, in medical, and it's had seen a decent take-up. People do take up because the organization give them a 5 lakh, 7 lakh, 3 lakh cover, and they want little more, they pay from their behalf. So similarly, on the voluntary top-up, we are driving this, and we are seeing that this will pick up in the coming quarters of the years. As I said, the human life value, the person has to take at least 15 times the life cover. Even if the organization is giving him only 6 times, there's a gap of 10 times. So we present the product, so the product is taken up in the ease and with very good process where the ease of onboarding is quick. Because if you go to a market to buy a term plan, it comes with the financial requirements, it comes with medical requirements. We try to make it as easy because we are underwriting that group, we are underwriting that industry. So our processes are much simpler, and it makes easy for the customer to come on board and take this policy. And this is also an additional favor for the employee to have the stickiness. It's a retention tool, because he or she will not get this policy if they're not working for that organization. If they're outside, they might not get it. At the same time, we also give portability for them. If tomorrow, 2 years, 3 years down the line, if they are leaving the organization, they can carry the plan with. So we try to bring in these factors, and we are also trying to bring in factors like wellness along with what they're buying. Because today GTL is understood as a very simple vanilla plain product.
Totally.
Death ho gaya, you get the cover.
Max to max, you can cover up all your liabilities.
Today, not necessarily death happens. A lot of other things happen, people don't die. Critical illness, because we have started adding critical illness as a rider.
Okay.
So if an eventuality
term
happens
life,
on the term life, the critical illness will take care of the absence from the organization, and the cover pays them for the absence from the office.
Yeah, and this can be like a co-pay from the employee also if the company is not.
We can do that.
Ready to...
We can do that. Voluntary top-up is definitely a co-pay, but critical illness can be from the employer also, and we can give a choice for the employee as well to pay and get them cover. The biggest challenge for us is to improve the knowledge of GTL as a offering to the employees from the employer.
Exactly.
This program should help us on that.
Exactly, and that's the right kind of awareness that we need. I can stretch this show for more half an hour, but then I'm pressed on time. Thank you so much, all of you, for being on the show and helping our viewers with this. And that will be our wrap. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.